Good afternoon, everyone, and happy Wednesday. And of course, I go live and immediately I get a message that Facebook is having a problem. So I'm Nancy Quinn,
Technology.
technology, I know. So you guys know me. I'm Nancy Quinn, business coach and body language trainer to interior designers. And I am here with Carlene LeMay from C2 Accounting, a rockstar bookkeeping firm that you should be using if you are struggling with your bookkeeping. So I always like to start out saying, introduce yourself and tell them where to find you. And then let's dive right into this reality of what a lot of designers are dealing with, which is, why am I so busy, but yet I'm still broke?
Where's the money, right? So I'm Carlene LeMay. My firm is C2 Accounting and Business Support, and we do bookkeeping for a lot of different types of businesses, but half of our clients are interior designers, so we focus a lot on that industry.
Yes. So working with interior designers, you see them, they're fully booked all the time, but
Mhm.
so many of them are still financially stressed. From your perspective, why is that?
So, yeah, as we know, being busy doesn't mean that you're financially stable, unfortunately. And I think interior designers, especially newer ones, still struggle with understanding the ebbs and flows of like, I get paid in January, but I'm starting to spend money in February on my credit card, and then I pay the credit card back in March, right? So, like, the cash is never kind of at the same time. And what I find that people are sometimes doing, instead of going, okay, I sold, have $100,000 invoice, 50,000 of that's my design fee. So that's my money. And then out of the rest, let's say only 20 of that is yours because the other 30 is actually to buy furniture. They're not separating that money and putting the money away for procurement, I think is a good first step to just like, if you're not a money person, just having those separate buckets. You and I both do profit first in our businesses, and
Yes.
you preach that in your course. And I find that some people are intimidated by profit first. And I had a call yesterday with a prospect, and what I said to her, she currently has one credit card and one business account. And I said, if you do nothing else, get a second checking account to put in procurement money. And that way, when you're looking at your checking accounts, multiple now, you can easily see this is not mine, this is mine. And just having that separation initially is going to help with the getting the concept of like, how much money do I really have?
Absolutely. I mean, that's one of the biggest things we teach in the Profit Insiders Academy, right? Separate the money that's not yours. So you don't wake up in
Mhm.
the morning and go, ooh, $100,000 in my
Mhm.
bank account, but it's $100,000 of furniture, or 50,000, 60,000 of it is furniture that you need to be purchasing. It's not your money. Sales tax money is
Right.
in there. I mean, we teach a whole profit first light system within the academy, and you know that. And it's really important for them to understand what's theirs and what's not theirs.
Right. And another one that trips people up in the same category is when you're doing these deposits on custom orders, that couch that you put 50% down today, but it takes 6 months to actually have it built and shipped out. And then you forget, oh yeah, I still owe 20,000 on the couch for that project. So getting that money out of your account is really good. And then of course, looking at your financial reports, because if you do that, you then can see this is my income, right? This was my cost of goods sold, what I spent on subcontractors, what I spent on installers, shipping and receiving, the CAD drawer, all the things that people don't think about that goes into the cost of a project. So then they can finally see their gross profit margin, which you preach. It should be 40 to 60%, right? Of your income you should have that in your gross profit. So my question to you is, what does that mean, and how is that's such a big range, right? And I tell designers they should have, when we're looking at their financials, their gross profit should be 40 to 60%. I tell them is based on like the size of the firm, where they're located, but what do you think? Why is there such a big gap there?
Okay, so the big gap comes from how they purchase the product that they are buying for the client, right? So it
Mm,
depends on their service models. Yes, it depends on their size of their business, their location, and all that stuff. But yet, I'm going to push back a little bit to say, well, not really, because whether you're a one-woman show, a one-man show, a full team, no matter where you are in the world, if you're not getting at least a 40 to 60% profitability in your design firm, you may not be in existence 3 years from now when people want you, right? So how do they get to that number? Hopefully they're buying from interior designer resources when they're purchasing product, and they're getting at least their 40% margin, if not more.
Right.
And purchasing smart will give them that. So if a designer charged nothing on a full service job besides ordering product for people, right there, a large portion of their profit comes from the product. Okay. Add to it what I teach: paid consult, design fee, project management fee, which are basically straight profit for you in essence on a job when you're doing it up against a client's job. So now you've got your product margin plus your project management, your design fee, and your in-home consultation. And now you've got that full 40 to 60%.
Do you want to know where I see people get tripped up on a lot with this? Yes. I see them buying like accessories and things retail and not marking it up, because their thought is, well, I pay retail, so I can't mark it up. But you're spending your time and energy shopping and procuring these items, and you're not marking up. I've seen people not mark up shipping. Like, there's so many ways that people are leaving money on the table because they're not following. they're not in the insiders group.
Right. I mean, that's what we're teaching in the academy, right? How to charge appropriately in order to get the money on your books so that Colleen can balance your books and show you that you're making money, right?
Exactly.
Right. What is the most common cash flow issue you see with designers, even the designers who are busy? What do you see as the biggest cash flow issue?
One that I just missed, those who they're not really charging enough. They don't have a big enough margin. They're forgetting to put a markup on things like shipping and buying accessories and things. And then not understanding that when they're looking at cash, there's so many things that eat their cash outside of like being an interior designer and buying furniture and paying for all that stuff. Like the cost of being open is expensive, right? We're talking software, which we all know that gets into your cash flow. If you're hiring help, which is you're supposed to, but making sure that you're hiring responsibly and it makes sense for how much you're making for your business at that time. I see people investing a lot or having shiny object syndrome. Like, I think sometimes people try to buy their way to success. And it's like, ooh, this is here. And ooh, that's there. And it's like, what are you focusing on? And being a bit more focused about what's going to drive their business forward. When you have all these little things outside eating and nitpicking at cash, and it's like the little things, right? It's like going to Walmart. And you're like, oh, that's $5, and this is $10, and so you get to check out, and you're like, I'm sorry, it's what? 300? How did that happen? Everything was just $5. It's the same exact concept. If you're not paying attention, it will nickel and dime you to death.
Yes, and there's processes and procedures you can put in place to stop yourself from being a shiny object person, right? So I love to fill up shopping carts, but then I will not press buy until 72 hours goes by and I go, do I still really want that, right? There's tricks. Or if I do go for a subscription for something that I want, I immediately go in and cancel the subscription. If I pay for a 1-year subscription, I go in immediately and I cancel it, for things that are going to be automatic. Yeah, so there's a lot of
I've forgotten to do that and gotten hit, and I'm like, crap, I'm stuck for another year. So I am not perfect. So let me say that. But that's a really good tip. As soon as you place the subscription order, cancel it, and that way you don't have to worry about forgetting to smart.
Yes, because I'll tell you, on the screen when you hit purchase is the last time you'll figure out. They'll tell you this little small print when you can cancel how you cancel your subscription. So take a picture of it with your phone. Make sure you go through it right away. This way you don't have to try to remember a year from now, because they ain't reminding you, that's for sure. So
exactly.
Okay, so
interesting. Yeah. That's a really great tip, I think. Because
there's a lot of little things people can do, right? You know that.
It's sort of thing. That's it. I think that's what we're hearing today. It's not like there's this magic lever you can pull and all of a sudden your cash flow is better. It's a little here, it's a little there. It's increasing in margin there. It's stopping the bleed over here. It's not buying every little thing that catches your eye over there, right? And when you start to
Yeah.
put all those together, then your business becomes more profitable, healthier, you have more cash flow.
Right. And what would you say the difference between a designer who looks successful and one who's actually financially stable?
I think the biggest difference between a designer that looks stable or who looks successful, who's actually financially stable, is they are invested in understanding the numbers in their business. And I know we've said this before, but however, there are some people who truly get that this is their goal. Like they're trying to build a business. And if you really want to go beyond just designing, which is great. But if you're looking to build something that can support you, even if you may not want to work for a month, then you really have to really focus on building a business. And that means understanding the numbers, getting with a good bookkeeper who's not just going to do the books for you, but also take the time to explain to you what all that means, because it's going to look like gobbledygook the first few times you look at that report. So how working with someone who's going to break it down and make it easier to understand will help you to feel, and I hate to use the word empowered because sometimes it's overused, but truly more empowered to make better decisions.
Definitely. I mean, when I asked you the question, what do you think the difference is between what looks like a successful designer and who actually is financially successful? I'll tell you, when you meet with them in the background, it's confidence. It's confidence, right?
Oh, yeah, I like that.
Okay,
Right.
confidence is the difference. They understand their numbers. They know when they charge somebody what it means. And I have so many stories. As a matter of fact, my session before you was one of my new profit insiders, and she's
Mhm.
great. But she knows herself. She doesn't pay herself. She hoards her money.
Mm.
Okay. So now it's like, okay, how do I get to the next level of my business? Let's spend some of it. Let's spend it smartly
Interesting.
with the right people, right? So then there's other people who spend every single penny they make and they don't understand why they don't have enough money in their business to grow it because they're pulling it all out into their personal life. So there's a balance there. And that's the reason why I say this. There's a balance. We don't want to keep all our money in the business just because it makes us feel really safe. We have a lot of money in the business,
Right.
but we also don't want to take it all out because we need the money to grow our business to the next level and bring on new things that can help us be more efficient, market ourselves better. So why am I busy as an interior designer but still broke? It usually means you're spending too much and not charging enough, or not having boundaries that are solid. Would you not
Yes.
agree?
I would have to agree. Yeah. Pay yourself too. Don't forget about that. I think I met with someone recently and they were very new. And I was like, even if you're paying yourself the minimum that you can do that on a regular basis. Just get used to having something moving from the business to personal. And it reduces those urges of like just grabbing random money, and it helps you to really start to see cash flow. And I think that's another one that just kind of popped into my head, having a steady outflow. You mentioned taking some of the money out, right? Using some of it to actually grow the business, but also taking some out to live on. Having a steady like outflow helps you to kind of really understand the flow of cash, because you're not taking 10,000 this month and $100 this month, and it's really like, let's just take 3,000 every month and kind of be more steady about it.
Exactly. You can plan if you have a process that you stick to, right? I teach this for
Yes.
everything, right? This is a marketing. What's your process that goes on rinse and repeat? What's your bookkeeping? How do you handle your numbers? And one thing that Megan says, the virtual CFO, is have like a job for your money, right? Have
Mm.
a job for your money. So when you know there's extra money coming in, oh, is that going to be for the new assistant? Is that going to be for my new bookkeeper? Is that going to be for coaching services I've been wanting? Like, what is your money for? And when you start assigning your money a task, it's easier to keep it where it's supposed to be, which is spending it towards paying yourself, paying your staff, paying for your growing your business. That's what it's for.
So basically, what you're saying is stop managing money emotionally and basically start managing it structurally. Like being calm about your money comes from having systems and not stress. That's kind of what I heard
Yes.
you say. Yeah, I would have to agree with that. And let me just say, I consider myself neurodivergent. And so when you are neurodivergent, if you have ADHD, if you're autistic, whatever, a lot of times rigid systems don't work for your brain. So you have to figure out what does work for your brain. So I will say that because there are people who go, I would try, but I can't stick with it because for whatever reason, their brain just works differently. So I will say, talk to someone to see, who can help you figure out how your brain works and find processes that work for you. And don't try to force yourself always to do it exactly how someone else is doing it.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And here's, Leslie and I put out a while ago a time management by personality type because it
Mm.
matters so much, where we had them take an Enneagram test. It gave them their personality type. And then we went through time management techniques. And our students in our academy laugh at us all the time. I manage my time completely different from Leslie, right? So she micromanages on her calendar. She has a slot for everything, right? Eating, driving, everything. Where me, I'm more like I need that loose so my creative juices can flow. So there are lots of different ways. You're right. And when it comes to managing your money, one other person's method might not be perfect. It just needs to be tweaked for your brain to give you that calm that you need so that you're busy, but you're not broke, or you're not feeling broke.
Yes, exactly. I agree.
Right? Not everybody's actually broke, but they feel broke because they're so stuck in that mindset
Right.
of they never have enough.
Yeah, scarcity mindset can definitely be detrimental. That's kind of like the person you referred to that's hoarding. That's a scarcity mindset. Where maybe they were in their mind broke in the past and they're afraid to go back there. Yeah, dealing with money is way more than just like share your numbers. It's so much of it is emotional and it's tied to like past trauma. So you really got to unpack your stuff to understand why you do what you do when it comes to money. And let me just say one more thing. If you manage your personal finances kind of messy, your business finances are going to go the same way. Some people, like if the chaos just follows, you really do you have to maybe just address why your finances in your personal life are also chaotic, because that's going to help you tackle your business finances as well.
Correct. So I'll just give one final sentence and then remind you to tell everyone where to find you and what you do, because some people are addicted to chaos.
Mm.
Okay. They're addicted to chaos and they're so used to it being, and it's not their fault necessarily. It could be, but it could be just life has dealt them a lot to juggle. So they're used to that constant stress and they don't even know that it's okay not to be stressed about certain
Yes.
things once you have a system in place. So Colleen, tell everyone where to find your bookkeeping services for your team, because your team is great. I love them. I refer everyone to them, and you are a great leader for them and always accessible when I have a question for me or any of my clients. So if you're struggling with bookkeeping, don't want to do it yourself, or just need to learn a little bit more about it, this is your lady. So tell them where to find you.
Or not only that, so we should be in a link, right? We'll have like our link down below.
Yeah, the link will be under all the broadcasts. Yes.
But we also do something called a diagnostic review. So if you know or you think your books aren't the way they should be, and you just want a second set of eyes to kind of sit down and show you where things stand, we offer that as a standalone service. It's $4.95. It gives you peace of mind so you can know where things are. And if you decide to work with us, we'll even apply that to future services. So it's kind of a win-win.
Perfect. Perfect. Okay. So above Colleen's head on all the platforms that we're broadcasting is c2-acctg.com. I'd love you to change that one day to make it like.
I don't have a marketing team like you do. I've got it one day, right? You remember how hard it was to change all of your stuff. It's a lot of work.
That's right. All right, everyone, go over to c2accounting.com. Check it out. Get on Colleen's calendar to talk about your numbers, your bookkeeping, and how you can feel like you're busy and not broke. Because isn't that the reason why we are all in business? Not to be broke, but to be busy and profitable.
Yes.
And we'll see you next time. Thanks, Colleen.
Take care. Have a great one.
Bye, everyone.